This session, I want to look at if statements, for loops, and for each loops, maybe even while do if we get time. Looking at NetBeans, I'm just going to get rid of a couple of things. We'll start with something blank, and I'll talk you through what I've got already. So this is my main class. Nothing new there, nothing's been added. And I've got two classes. I'm going to have a class for animals. I'm going to have a class called Animals Manager. First thing I'll do is we'll look at how lists work. So if we create, I'm going to have a list of numbers. So this will look like this. List numbers equals new array list. Right. So that creates a simple list but at the moment doesn't have anything in it. So let's have a look. We've got two errors here that says it can't find a class called list. So you see this icon on the left. When you select it, there's an option for add import for Java util array list. If you scroll up, it adds this line here. That brings in this class, and if I press it again, it'll add the class for that list there as well. Okay, so what can we do with that? So I'm just going to quickly throw together a quick constructor. And with this list we can add objects, we can get an index, and we can check to see if it's empty, check if so we can do lots of things with it. You can use dot notation to pull out that list of different things that you can do. So I'm going to do numbers dot add, and it's asking for an index, which is its ID in the list, and an object. So what is this object constructed of? This should so this if you're writing it like this, you can either assign it as a so let's say if I wanted a string in there, I've assigned it an ID and then the name of the or typed in the string. You don't have to assign an ID. If you don't, it'll just get added into the list in the order that they get created. So what we want to do with those? Well, let's have a look at something else. Let's create a new method called getList. Doesn't matter what you call it. And in here, I'm going to get it to print out system .s system.out.println. I want to print out numbers, and then you use those squares to identify it as an array, and then what let's 2 seconds to see why that's erroring out. Okay, don't do it that way. We use numbers dot get, and then what index is it? So the first one will be 0, and it should say item 1, and copy that, put that in there. rid of that. Get 1. Okay. Let's go into my main class, and what I want to do is create an instance of animals manager equals new animals manager, and then do am dot get list. Hit run. And has it printed out? Yep, it's printed out item 1 and item 2. Okay. Let's go back into Animal Manager and switch that to 1, so it should print out item 1, item 1. Oh, sorry, item 2, item 2. We'll go to print it out item 2 twice because they're both the same item in the list. What if I printed one where there isn't a 1 in the list? It breaks because there is nothing in index 2. So that's an interesting point. These items that get added to the list start off as number 1. Sorry, start off at number 0, and that's the first item in a list or in an array. And the second one is 1, and so on and so on. Okay, so that's getting lists created. What if I wanted to create a list of a class? Now, we explained before what a class is, and a class is a blueprint of other objects. So I create this animal class. Every animal has the name of the animal, and I want my animal to have a weight, and that'll just do for now, and you can add more of it in your own project. The next is the constructor, and I'll look at how constructors are put together after this. So these values don't have anything in it, that's the point. I'll tell you what, let's create that list of animals. So how's that going to look here? I'm going to get rid of all this, get rid of all of this in the animals class, sorry, animals manager class, and put in animals, because that's the name of the, oh no, I want to create a list based on a class. So to create a list based on a class, you've got to use list and then what type of class list it is, give it a name, equals new array list animals. Just had a bit of a disaster with the keyboard. That should be array list. Right, so that has created a yeah, that's right, I've created a list that is a list of animals. So if I wanted to do animals dot add, it doesn't know what kind of object or element it's going to be, so I'm going to leave that blank for now. I would normally put add new animal, and so that's how that looks. This has created a new animals. This has added a new animals object to the animals list. I'm going to use this get list method again. This time we're going to use system dot out dot print line, and in the brackets use animals, which is that list, dot I'm looking for a count. looking for count, what would it be? Just 2 seconds. Java. So you just use this animals dot size. There you go. Size will get the how many items are in the list. So let's hit run, and it should say 1. Yep, 1. Let's add a second one in. Hit run again. It should say 2. Cool. So that's fine. Let's go into this animals class. So this constructor, why am I doing it? I'm going to add 2 things: string name and int weight. Notice that these are exactly the same name, but that's okay. This should now break my program because these are now empty and they require a string followed by an integer, which is just like what we did with methods and method passing values. So let's put something in there. The first animal, it's the string, we'll put in lion, and then the weight of a lion, just put 100, whatever, and then this one, tiger, and put 90. Okay, let's hit run, see how that looks. Okay, fine. But these values can't just sit there in that method. So what's happening is I take this string called lion, it goes into this string called name, but it can't just sit there, it needs to be saved somewhere. I'm going to save it into this variable up here. So the word lion goes from there to there to there, up into there. It doesn't have to have the same name. I'm just going to change weight to like that, and I can use weight equals weight. It does exactly the same, but what I can't do is name equals name, because it's trying to reference that. The keyword this references this class's variables. So this class's name variable. So they are added to that list now. So what could we do with them? Well, we'll try system.out.print line, and we'll do we'll print out, let's try something, animals dot get 0 dot name. So it looks at the animal list, it gets the first one in the list called lion, and then prints out name. And run that. Okay, so your first task 1, add more attributes or variables to the animals class and add them to the constructor. There's your first task. So next thing to do, looking at NetBeans, I'm not going to add any more. But this time we're going to loop in all of these. So I'm going to get rid of that line now. Just looking again at the animals class, nothing else has been added, it's still just doing this constructor thing. But what if I wanted to print out the name of all of these animals, and how we're going to do that is we're going to make this number a variable. One way to look at it is setting it like this. Oh, aye. And if I hit run, it should print out the name lion. If I change the variable up here to 1 and hit run, yep, prints out a different name, prints out tiger. Well, what I'd like to do is cycle within all of these, and there's a couple of ways we can do this. We could go for each. I just need to brush up on a few things. Java for each loop. I just need to double check how you write this in Java. Right. So a for each loop will look like this. For, and then you follow it up with class animals, and then you assign it an object name. So an, whatever, a, we'll do a. Then you use this colon, which means in. So it means for each animal which gets assigned a in the list of animals, do the following. So in this body bit, that does the following, and we'll do not animals.get but a.get. In fact, you don't even need that. What you can just use is a.name. How that works is it gets all of the objects, animal objects, which is these two here, in this list, and assigns it to this A. So every time one of these appears, it will print out all of them. Lion, tiger. What if we only wanted to print out the first few? So that's one way of doing it. This is a for each, and I'm going to add that on, and then I'm just going to leave it on there. For each loop. The next one looks like this. If int I equals 0, I less than, I'm going to put 10, I plus plus, and let's see how that looks. Okay, so again, I just need to brush up on Java. Just make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. What's happening? Oh, it's not if, it's for. Put an if in. It's a for, silly me. Alright. If you spot that, then well done. So there's two ways to do it. There's this way. No, let's not do that. Let's not do it that way. A for each loop, which cycles for everyone, or this way can be used to assign a value to each animal in the list. So I've got 2 in. I'm just going to set that as yeah, leave it as 10 for now. So let's just look at how this would work. No, maybe as a set of strings, right? I'm going to create a list of strings so that it's easier to demonstrate. You don't need to do this, and I'll show you it as animals in a second. Let's add a new add. Strings dot add 2. Right, so I've added those 2 in. Right, so let's see how this looks. If I just write strings dot get I. What that'll do is it'll cycle through each of those, and I will talk through how it works step by step. Just got to get it set up right first. We'll do system dot out dot print line strings get I, and then let's hit run. It's gonna break. It's okay if it breaks. Yep, it's broke. Let's take that one and set there as 1. Why is it not running? Run anyway. Oh, there we go, got too many brights. Right, so I run the program and it prints out the number 1. I'm going to change that to 2, and I'm going to hit run, and it prints out the string 2. That might be a bit easier to understand, just changing the names of them. So it's a loop within these 2 strings. This is how it works. We create an integer called I, and we set it to 0. Right. Is 0 less than 2? If it is, then let's do this. Then add 1 to it. You can go into debug and then go into step into. The program will run, and then you can cycle through using F7 through creating the program step by step, but it looks like it's going to just take a while to cycle through, so I'm just going to quickly flick through all of this till I get up to the point that I want to be on. Nearly there. Nearly there. This is literally going through like one step at a time, how each of those variables are. Oh, nearly went too far. Right, so this is cycling through this loop. It's not this one I want to look at. There's a lot of fluff in Java. I'm nearly there. Nearly there. Just keep skipping ahead. Keep skipping. Come on. Wait. Oh, right, okay, so it's doing that second animal now. Almost. It's very exciting, isn't it? Come on. Right, okay. You know, it's just going to go through that all over again. I'll just explain it one step at a time. I should have done that earlier. That was a waste of time. Right. This line here creates the integer called I and sets it as 0. Right, that's fine. Then it'll run system.out.println dot get I. Right, so it's going to get the first one in the array and then followed by the second one in the array. So is I less than 2? Yes, it is. 2 is the I is set as 0. So if it is, then let's add 1. Okay, it adds 1. Then it goes back to here. It adds 1. It runs this line and then says, is I less than 2? If it is, run this line and then add 1. So at this point, this is now equal to 1. Is I less than 2? Yes, it is, so we'll increase it by 1 again. Right. So if I isn't less than 2, then it won't run the line and it won't increment or add 1. It won't add 1 to there. So that will close the loop out of there. I'm going to change these again. Just first string and last in loop, just so it's easy to see. Get I, hit run. You can also use, instead of this number, you can also use strings dot size. So is it less than the amount that's in the list? The amount in the list is 2, so it'll always check out, it'll go through all of those in the array. Okay. So let's do this for animals now. I'm going to leave that in. I want to do animals here. Dot size. We're going to print out animals dot get I dot name, and it should print out the name of each of those. Let's hit run. And that's it there. I'm going to just comment out that line so we don't see that appearing. Okay, so that's printing out lion and tiger, which is the name of each of those. What if I wanted to print out the size as well? I could write and animals dot get I dot, what was it I used? Oh, it's not and, it's plus. That's why. Dot weight. Okay, there we go. So it's cycling through each of those and printing those out. If I just add a new one to the list, new animals, there, and then hit run now, it cycles through a list of them. Okay, so let's recap. First of all, this is my my main class, which is just printing out, which is creating an instance of the animals manager and running a method called getList in the animal manager class, which is this one. The animal class has a string for a name and an integer for a weight. Like I said, I'd like you to add a couple more variables, let's say about 5. Then in animal manager, I want you to print out all the individual values using this loop or this one. So let's just look at the tasks there. So task 1, add more attributes to the animals class, and then add the constructor. And task 2, print out 5 different animals from the list. Okay, just like I did. As an additional challenge, because that's easy, task 3, create your own class for your own object. I'll give you an example, cars. And oh, hang on, there we go. So task 3, create your own class for your own object. What about cars? That'll do. And then after that, print out the values onto a label on a J panel. Is it a J panel? Or is it a J frame? I always forget. J frame, not J panel. J frame. Okay. So there is your 3 tasks for the session. Go as far as you can. If you get stuck, just drop us an email. We'll cover it again as a recap on the next lesson. If I haven't covered classes, although I think I have, we'll look at it in more detail. But this is all I'm wanting to cover for classes right now. Okay, one little bonus. If animals dot get 0 dot name is equal to bears, and animals dot remove which one is assigned to bears? 2, isn't it? I'll tell you what. Let's put there as you can run this if statement inside this loop, and then see what happens. So I'm going to print this out twice and see what happens now. Hit run. So, ooh, oh, there we go. Hit run. Why did that happen? Right, let's not remove. Oh, could I do remove I? And then print them out again. No, okay, that wasn't what I was hoping for. You can use if statements to get something and check it, and then maybe get the application close or make it pop up windows or anything like that. How could you use that in your application? Imagine using it for like checking if so many are in a list, and if one of the list is maybe if you're doing like for a shopping thing, if one of the list is on sale, then have it minus a value or something like that. Okay. Right. So just once more, tasks are add one or more attributes